And so we are reading The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. Why was this like one of the things on top of your list? You could see yourself as the character, as the main protagonist of the story.
Right.
Lauren.
And so the way chapter 1 starts off, again, like I told y'all, it's like a journal.
She starts to get into this place where we're starting to realize that she has, her dreams. Welcome to another episode of As a Man Readeth. This is Trey D.
And Goolsby.
And we have a great one for you today. We are starting in the realm of fiction today. Listen, we've been talking about this for a while, and I think this is a good book to start. It is a very interesting year, and it's very interesting. This particular book kind of takes place during this particular year. And I think that's really interesting.
It is.
Yeah, it does. And so we are reading The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. Many of you all have read it. Hopefully, if you've heard about it, there's a movie being made about it and with it. And so we are excited to take this journey with you to give you a little preview and our insights about the book. It has been one of my favorites for a while, and Goolsby yours too, I believe, too, right? And it's come back into play. So we want to share it with you as we go through our first fiction book together. What's your thoughts to start us off, man? Like, why was this like one of the things on top of your list? One of the books on top of your list in the fiction category?
Well, it's this other group that I'm a part of, and they introduced this maybe 2 years ago, 2 or 3, or during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I started reading with them, and I was like, "This is deep."
Yeah.
Like it was like a little action / dark coming to age book about a young Black girl. And I was like, why have I never heard of this? This was written back in like early 90s. That's what threw me off. I was like, wait, I think it was written when I was in 6th grade, or published, I'll say, when I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I was like, why have I not heard of this? Why have I never read it? And it just happened to be relevant in 2020, like specifically. Because you thought you didn't know what was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, where are we going? People getting shots, people not getting shots, people getting mad that people ain't getting shots, people getting mad because you want me to get a shot and they ain't got nothing to do with me. They ain't got nothing to do with you. Let me do me. And
but you reason I got to do this, and this.
Right.
Oh man, yeah, that's true.
Right. It got really weird.
Yeah.
In 2020.
Got really weird. Got real weird real fast.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I think someone gave me my first copy. Like, you need to be reading this, man. It's crazy. It's a great book. You're gonna like the journey. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I just wasn't really doing fiction at the time, so it's like it just sat in over there in the bookcase for years. And then one day I picked it up. I'm just reorganizing stuff, and I was like, let me set this out. And I think we ended up having a conversation. But I was like, I got this, you got it. Oh yeah, let's do it. And I think it works, man. I think it's gonna be great. Listen, I think we should. I don't know if we need to even change how we even discuss it. There's some really cool. I think since it's the way it's written, I can kind of see myself, and maybe you can too. You could see yourself as the character, as the main protagonist of the story,
right?
Lauren.
You can.
And I would love for us, hey, let's, so I think about it. Maybe some of you all have done the same. Okay, if that was you, what would you do? And I think we can move through the story. Like, now, how did that come about? What are your thoughts about this? And then kind of move through the story. What's your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Same. It's the thing where she brings up different. So first of all, she's writing from a perspective of, it's like a diary for those who haven't read it, and it's like journal entries, pretty much. And she journals her days. It may skip a week, it might skip 2 months, but she makes her journal entries, and she talks about like different families, different folks, dynamics within the community, and what she feels about it. It's not this chapter, but when we get into it, something hit me so to the chest. Where I was like, wow. It's almost like when you share a deep truth with somebody that you think is your friend, and then your parents come at you like, hey, why are you saying such and such? You're like, whoa. I know they didn't go back and tell their parents what I told them. Right. See, nowadays is that.
They blocking people, they.
Right.
You got to block at that point.
Exactly, because at that point I can't even text you because you probably gonna show your mama your phone. So I
Oh,
ain't
for
even gonna.
sure, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
so when that happened, because me and Kareem had a whole conversation this morning, basically about. Hold on, I'm saying on something, y'all.
About cutting people off.
You say what now?
About cutting people off.
Not about cutting people off, about speaking your truth and then
Okay.
realizing you're the only one in the space with that truth, and
Oh
then
yeah,
how isolation can occur
yeah.
when you speak that truth. And I've been that person where it's like, oh, everybody like red, and I'm the only one that like yellow,
Hmm.
and I can't like. So now I'm ostracized. I'm an outcast
Well, it's also sometimes when it's like everyone likes red, and I'm the only one like yellow, but they can't even tell you why they like red.
because it's always been that way. You're not
Yeah,
supposed to like yellow. Yellow is evil.
yeah. You know something different. Yeah, like wait a minute. Well, so yeah, that's interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, man. And to question it is what irritates me. I can't question. And whenever you can't question the thing, that's when you know. That's when you know something's up. So we know the political climate right now,
For sure.
and you can't question. I can't question. Well, what if there's this good thing that occurred? Nothing's good from that evil,
Yeah. So
bro.
yeah, yeah. So
Relax.
that makes sense, and it's good that you got there because I think what Octavia does a good job of really. She sets a stage for the future, or what she believes, what the story is going to be about the future. It's a very dystopian novel here. What part of this, like in the first couple of chapters, Ghouls, like did you feel like was like unsettling and like really aligned with like your day to day, like really aligned with reality? What was going on in the book that you
Uh huh.
saw that was like, oh man, this lines too close to what we're dealing with right now?
Well, just the perspective. Like what I would, if you don't mind, I would like to go into chapter one then.
Do it. Let's do it.
And
Let's do it.
let's go into chapter one,
Yeah.
and then I'll break that down and we'll go from there because it really hits me from a place of her age. Like her
Hmm.
being 15, it takes
Yeah.
me back to being 15.
Yeah.
It's same feelings, different type of situations,
Hmm.
if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so if we jump into chapter one for those following, so read with us, y'all. We're gonna
Yeah.
read this. We probably go a couple chapters per episode, give everybody an opportunity to stay with us as we go along this journey. And so the way chapter one starts off, again, like I told y'all, it's like a journal.
Yep.
She reads it like a journal, and there's a statement that she says before she starts. I'm gonna read that at the end though. How about that? But she
Cool.
starts with the statement, and then the date is Saturday, July 2024, and the person writing is Lauren Olamina. All right. And so it starts off with her talking about this recurring dream that she keeps having.
Hmm.
And she only has these dreams when she's struggling. And her struggles is when she's dealing with a situation that is unusual,
Hmm.
that everyone is acting as if it's not.
Hmm.
It's the elephant in the room, and
Right.
it's like no
No
one's
one's
gonna
saying
say
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Right, right. And basically when she's also saying that's when she's trying to be her father's daughter, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So in that world, oh, and on this day, this is her birthday, July 20th.
There it is. Yep.
So,
There you
so
go.
she's a Leo. Her and her dad have the same birthday.
Yeah.
So the 15th, she's turning 15, he's turning 55. And so in this dream, what she says is this dream reminds her that it's all a lie. And like, well, what's all a lie? That her father's religion is
Mm-hmm.
all a lie. That's
Hmm.
pretty much what it is. And she's so bothered by it that she has to write this journal. That's the only reason why we have this parable is a sower, because she was so irritated by all the this lie that she had to write about it.
Hmm.
So when she goes into this dream, she realizes that she's been teaching herself how to fly in the dream. So she's in the dream, she's in a room similar to her own in her bedroom, and
Yep.
there's a door that's the door to go out of the room. And what she does is each dream she's been having during the struggle, she's been teaching herself how to fly. So she'll let go and almost hit the floor, and she's kind of hovering in this space of like excitement and
Mm-hmm.
horror because she doesn't want to
Mm-hmm.
fall, but she's also like, oh, I'm doing it. And she's
Yeah.
unable to control herself. Now, she's floating toward the door. Now, the door, the way I take it is a frame. It's not open. It's just a door frame with the door in it. And
Yeah.
there's a light emanating from the sides of the door. And she's
Yep.
floating
Yep.
towards
That's
that
in there.
door. And then all of a sudden, the wall catches on fire.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, whoa, 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 I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And she can't move. She can't help herself. So she moves into the fire, and then she's engulfed by the flames. She done caught fire. And then there's darkness because
Yeah.
she wakes up from this dream.
Yeah.
And normally in these dreams that she has, she's unable to go back to sleep. She's just up for the rest of the night. But in this dream, this particular dream, she actually kind of halfway falls back asleep. And the second part of the dream now, going from that darkness where she was in fire and engulfed into the darkness, now that light that emanates is like, so it's like if it was a movie, we're pulling back from this light from the stars in the sky.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's back to a thing that actually happened in her life where she's out in her parents' backyard. She's with her stepmother, and they have been taking the clothes off the clothesline.
Yep.
Right? Her stepmother, who just happens to be a Spanish speaking woman. I'm assuming Mexican, not from Spain. Just because they're in the LA, they're in California, just so you guys don't know. Because now you start to realize that, oh, you're in Cali. So she says to her stepmother, why were you not able to see the stars? I think that's the question. Is that, yeah, why?
That's in there.
Hold on. Is that it? Well, yeah, why couldn't you see the stars?
The stars.
And she says, because of the lights.
Lights.
The lights from the city, the progress, the growth. And she hands the clothes as they're having these moments together. She has this warmth between her and her stepmother because she's actually speaking in Spanish with her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So her stepmother gives her the clothes that have been folded and crisply folded. She goes back. Lauren goes back to put the clothes down where they've been stacking them by the house, and she falls into them like, oh, this feels good, you know. And the stepmother says to her, she says, mi mama told me, you know, that this was God's way of peering in to see his creation. Something like that. I didn't get the quote perfect.
Okay.
And she said, I believe her. I believe her for 6 months. And I'm like, so I'll just continue to tell the story. And so Lauren goes into talking about, well, I love the stars. You know, I'm glad that we have the stars. And the stepmother is like, yeah, they're free. They're free. They're free. It's cool. It's cool. You can see them. But she would rather to have the lights back. So we end the chapter with that. Now, and I wanted to go back to the beginning because that's pretty much the summation of the chapter one. And as chapter one started, it says, all that you touch, you change.
Mm-hmm.
All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. So that was chapter one.
Mm-hmm.
And so my first question to you is, what do you think that means symbolic? What was her dream? I had a crazy dream last night. Me personally, I had to write it down too. I was like, man, what's going on, world? Like, am I about to write my parable? So what do you think that dream meant, and what does that mean to you?
I think if you go regular, I don't know. I got some thoughts. I'll do it this way. I want to have my disclaimer out there. I don't have my book or anything out like, the old book of dreams. But, that floating into flames, depending on how you look at it, that could mean a lot of times the burning could be a renewing. That could be that. But I always thought it was interesting that she didn't go out the door first. Okay. Right? So I wonder if it's like a renewing in the same place. Second part.
Should I piggyback off that now or wait for you to say the second thing?
Go for it. Go for it.
No, when you said that renewing, it was almost like inevitable. Like there's nothing you can do
Mm-hmm.
for you. You gonna change.
Yeah. That's true.
And it's so funny that later on she says change, or in the beginning of this chapter, God is changed. I was like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ooh, what we talking about? All right, wait. But that
Well,
just
and then that encounter with the flame or whatever is. So what's the first line again? Everything
you
you touch,
change all
you
that you
change,
change.
you, yeah, everything you touch, you change.
Oh, all that you touch, you change. Yes.
All that you touch just change. And
Mm-hmm.
so I wonder, yeah, where you going?
Well, clearly she touched that wall. She was touching the air around her.
Yeah.
Time out. So being is change almost. Me just being in space.
Yeah, me, yes. Yeah. I mean, we should be not, I think one of the things we definitely understand physically, spiritually, mentally, we are not necessarily we're not just not necessarily, we're not the same people that we used to be. And
Correct.
so we're changing daily, something's different about us moment by moment by moment
That's
by
from
moment.
moment to moment. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's part of it. So I just thought about it from a renewing standpoint, um, or as we will know as we go through the story, she's basically gonna be. It's a she becomes something. She's
Yeah.
in a totally different. She becomes who she really wants to be as you move through these early chapters, and you really start to understand what she also her when she does touch things, what happens to her as well. So I thought about
Ooh.
that.
Yeah. Which we'll get to.
Yeah,
Which we'll get to.
yeah,
Um, I think like just starting off this whole book with the dream,
hmm
with the vision.
hmm
Um, I think that's important because it's almost like the guidepost to where you want to go. It's a foreshadowing of something that's going to happen later to
hmm
some
hmm
degree that you can't stop. You can't stop the momentum of this thing. And it was the little ideas of teaching herself how to do something no one else can teach her. How to fly. She's teaching herself how to fly. It's impossible.
hmm
I'm saying that to me is like an impossible thought. So to
hmm
think that you can teach yourself how to fly, which is funny because I don't know if you've ever done this in your dreams where you have practiced flying. I have. I'll never forget. It was in a swampland for me. And I
Okay.
was kind of skipping against the water and whatever the swamps are called, whatever
Yeah.
that's called,
The marsh and
the
swamp.
marsh, the
Yeah.
marshlands. And I kept remember thinking, what if a crocodile just points his head? What if he comes out? I just kept thinking that. But I just kind of kept skipping. It's like I was like a rock skipping, but I was flying though. So yeah. And then last night, the dream that I had, why not? Me and Kareem went to a resort. And when you first pull in, you give them your car keys, the valet, they go in, and
Yep.
everything's honky dory, it's all cool. Of course, in dreams, things happen I don't remember. But the main point was
I've never heard him say hunky dory, y'all. I don't know where that came from. That's awesome. Good thing.
honky dory. That goes to some of our fan base out there. They know who they are. So in the dream, things weirdly start happening.
Mhm.
Long story short is they're trying to brainwash me and Kareem. We somehow figure this out, and we're breaking down all the things that happen. The valet. Oh, we can't leave. We got to figure this out. We got to figure that out. Long story short is we get the hell out of there. Somehow we get out of there. Some reason, Trey, the next day I come back and I'm in the facility and I called my mom. I was like, hey, mom. She's like, what's up? I said, hey, I came back to that place that was trying to brainwash us. She's like,
Why?
well, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think I should leave. She's like, I think you should.
Yeah.
And I go on my way to leave. But I think what I was doing as I'm leaving the dream was that I was going to take down this place or
Oh,
something. Like I
that's
was
my thought.
figuring it out.
I figured you're like, I'm here to burn this down.
Right, I'm here to burn it down.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why am I back here? Why if I got the balls to come back?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it also made me think about addiction. It made me think about things that we go back to that we know aren't good for us
hmm
as well. So in her story about because I don't think it's by chance that her and her dad both are turning 15, and was it 55,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that number 5 is, if you know numerology, it deals with conflict. It deals with the unbalancing of what's even. It's also dealing with it's conflict versus collaboration. It's
Okay.
like we're like our flag football team. We're attempting to get on board. Like we're not trying to mess up, not on purpose. We're attempting to understand and collaborate.
Yeah.
Right now we're in a lot of
Definitely.
conflict, but that's okay. So that's that. And then going into that second part of the dream with her stepmom, who, she shows love for, like, she doesn't have anything negative really to say about her
Right.
stepmom.
Right.
It makes me think of like language and communication and adaptability, like how you can still communicate in a different way.
Yeah.
A learned communication slash a must, a required. You know what I mean? Like this is my stepmom. I want to be able to communicate with her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this leads off this whole story, man. And I'm like, all right, we talking dreams. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Well, she starts to get into this place where we start to realize that she has that, her dreams are incredible, but her actual time of life, when she's not dreaming, is also very incredible. She has this gift where she can feel even more than what you would think you could feel. She has this hyper
Mm-hmm.
empathy as she goes through, that she's dealing with, and is getting stronger as she moves through her teen years as well as she grows older. And so she's feeling a lot of the things. And now being in this, you got to think about it, y'all. Like you're in this particular world where you can feel what other people feel. It's not a great world. It's not a perfect world at all. It's not necessarily what I mean. It's not a whole world. It's shattered and fractured in a lot of different ways. There's despair in a lot of different places. And so just by touching or just by seeing,
Seeing for her, yeah.
yeah, just by seeing, was she could feel what others, not only other people, with other entities, other things,
Mm-hmm.
things that are alive that she could feel too. So you can imagine that's a whole other weight that because and as she talks about, this ain't something I wanted,
Right.
but she's dealing with that, as she goes through her own journey.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to go through chapter 2, or how you
No,
want to?
keep going, keep going.
So chapter 2 starts here. Let me get the exact date. Sunday, July 21st. So it's the next day, and so now it's time to get baptized.
Hmm. Hmm.
She don't want to get baptized. She don't believe in her father's God. She alludes to the God who isn't mine anymore. She has her God goes by another name. And just so you know, we don't know what that name is. She doesn't specify, at least yet.
Yeah.
And so right now, the kids don't really go to a school. Everybody stays within the wall, within the community that they're in. Their father used to have a church outside of the wall, but it got vandalized and burned down.
Hmm.
For some reason, they specify the amount of people that were in the church that got burned down was 7. 7
Hmm.
homeless people that died in the burning down. I was like, why so specific, right? As it went through, her dad's friend, Reverend Robinson, happened to manage to keep his church up and erected. It's still
Hmm.
outside of the wall,
Hmm.
but they're going there to get baptized. Her and I don't know, a certain amount of other kids. I don't know if she specified, but they're going to get baptized.
Yeah, they're all riding. This is when they're riding bikes, right? Riding
Correct.
bikes. Yeah, coming
And
through
they see
here.
the naked woman
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
just kind of out of her mind,
yeah.
and the boys pretty much almost fall off their bikes
Hmm.
looking at this
Hmm.
naked woman. She saw
Hmm.
bodies that would never wake up ever again. She
Yeah.
saw a headless body and realized she was looking for the head,
Hmm.
and was like, you know what? I need to stop looking for the head. Let me just.
And you're not in your neighborhood anymore. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
the same. It's definitely out. It's different outside the walls. Yeah, yeah.
Right. She goes while they're on this journey. She talks about her youngest. She talks about her oldest younger brother, Keith, I
Okay.
believe, and he doesn't share her sentiment about religion, nor her father's. He just don't care. He
Yeah.
just go along with it. He really wants to go to LA one day to make big money there. His Her dad alludes to that, to LA as a dead carcass filled with maggots. She talks about what else on this journey. So again, a lot of the kids, well, the families now don't want their kids really outside of the wall due to all the danger that's outside of the wall. There's a lot of walls that have been erected during this time to protect these neighborhoods, things of that nature. Her father, if I want to say it correct, because he lived in Robledo, I think Robledo. He said and lived there for 21 years.
Yeah.
And in 2010, that his parents were murdered,
Mm-hmm.
and he inherited their house.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they didn't burn it down like everybody had burnt everything else down.
But you get a clue that it's on its way.
Right.
Roberto's on his way out, and we'll get into that probably a little bit later in the story. Yeah, it's you start to kind of notice that's something we need to pay attention to a little bit later.
Right.
And I think it ends up being, well, I won't jump ahead. Y'all. So one though, I think you mentioned Lauren's father. He plays a pretty significant role in her life.
Yes.
Did you think his role as father, as pastor, as leader in the neighborhood, how do you think that impacted? Was it something that limited her, or did it empower her, or both?
Definitely empowered her.
Yeah.
Because I think him being as strict as he was forced her to not only know what he knows,
Hmm.
but it impacted her in a way that made her find out who she was. It The things that were not logical to her that her father just accepted,
Hmm.
she explores, and it's definitely something that I think her father would be proud of. Ultimately, not in
Hmm.
the moment,
Right.
not in the
Right.
moment.
Right. Right.
And her with that empathetic power that she has, or weakness, depending on how you view it.
Hmm.
I think he had to admit to, like, man, that's a real thing, even if it wasn't, because I can only imagine Trin telling me she can feel other people's feelings. It's like, what you talking about? Like the brother acting like he was bleeding, and
Hmm.
it caused her to go into a feeling like where it messed
Hmm.
her up.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that might have proved to the dad like this is a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but further in that chapter, because what she also said was, so if she got to fighting with somebody, she made sure she really messed them up because she was gonna feel it anyway.
Yeah.
So I want you to feel
She
it
did.
too, because she
She
was gonna
did.
get it double. So she
Yeah.
beats them up, she feels it, then
Yeah.
her parents whoop her. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So that's
well,
that's kind of triple. She's probably gonna get hit. She's doing the hitting, and then she's gonna get that punishment a little bit later. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of just a different way of living through life. It's definitely I would say a unique burden for her.
And yes, and also in this chapter, she talks about her first mom, her real mom
Hmm.
was a drug addict, and the drug was called Paracetco, aka Einstein powder. And this is what
Yeah.
her mother chose to abuse before giving birth to her, which killed her. Which
Hmm.
So technically, she took her mom out in a sense. You know,
Hmm.
she goes into that she also feels pleasure though. So sex is a good thing for her. Now she's a 15-year-old, so it's like I don't know what first age you had sex at.
Yeah, you need to be sitting down somewhere.
Yeah, you should be, but she that preacher daughter.
Yeah.
So watch
Yeah.
out, watch out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so but her big thing here was she ended up having to get baptized, and she wished she could have spoke up to say she didn't want to be baptized, but she does it anyway because she's her father's daughter,
Hmm.
and she don't want to embarrass him, and she just kind of wants to keep the peace, and at least
Yeah.
that's what I take from it.
Yeah.
But she also lets us know that her favorite book of the Bible is Job.
Hmm.
And she's like, at least God keeps it real right there. Like 100. Like, look, you can be replaced. Job, old family. Job got new family. So it's like, so what? You know what I mean? Like,
Man.
I was like, whoa.
I'm thinking about it like that. It's like, that's tough. That's a tough way to live.
It
But
is.
things can be removed from your life in a moment, and that's something to keep in mind too. So, also, I think that what Job is teaches us a little bit about attachment and or detachment from things,
Yes.
and it talks about where your real trust is. But we're not doing a story on Job today because I was about to go there. I heard myself.
Well, from her, but from her perspective, right? She says, "Toy children, like Job's children, are interchangeable. Maybe God is
Mm.
a kind of a big kid playing with his toys. If he
Ouch.
is, what difference does it make if 700 people get killed in a hurricane, or if 7 kids go to church and get dipped in a big tank of expensive water?" And then
Interesting.
she says, "But what if all that is wrong? What if God is something else altogether?" I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
she's big on this God thing, and I'm feeling that because when I was 15, I was in the same space of going to school and people
Yep.
talking about Jesus and God, and I'm
Yep.
sitting there and being like, y'all don't even know the Bible. I go to church all the time, and I didn't. They wouldn't know though. They wouldn't know until I started spurting off passages
Yep.
and stuff like that. So I knew the word. I just did not. I felt like it was such a responsibility
Yep.
that I was like, look, I'm not worthy to be the bearer
Mm-hmm.
of this information.
I think
But
a lot,
go ahead.
a lot of her. I think if we think about her philosophy as we kind of close out this episode too, I was thinking about like if I had to encapsulate her, as she starts to write some things in the later chapters too, but
Mm-hmm.
like she's starting to kind of build her own. You'll see you notice early on that she's trying to come into her own self.
Yes.
Um, she's growing up. She's 15. She's getting baptized
Right.
as well. She's out doing. I mean, they outside the
Yeah.
wall at this point, and so she's learning about herself. She's questioning things, and that's part of the maturation process. And I think you know, curiosity is a
Yes.
big part of her life right now, which is interesting, which is good, which is I think it's really good, and it's gonna set her into a place where she can continue to be the protagonist as she moves through the
And
story.
practicality.
Yeah.
Like not only is she curious, she's practical. Like them riding, what we did say on the bikes, they armed. They
Oh
got
yeah.
guns.
Loaded all day.
They are
Yes.
loaded. They not playing. There's a
Yeah.
particular part where they ride through some town and these kids come out and she's like, if it was only one or two of us and we didn't have weapons, they'd
Hmm.
probably jump us.
Hmm. Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's
Yeah.
that. That's that.
Yeah. Yep.
So I can appreciate that because what it's doing is it's combining the world of security
Yeah.
with that of, I guess, insecurity or reality with that optimism or
Yeah.
pessimism. You know what I mean? Like she's living in the world. She's not sheltered at all. Well, they're in that wall,
Hmm.
but she
Yeah.
gets to see that outside and say, like,
True.
oh,
That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
we got to get ready because these folks out here.
Which gives you that hypervigilance, right? So there's that running little joke that's on social media right now. It's like you out with your wife, and you checking all the doors as y'all are
Right,
walking through the mall and all this stuff, and you know where it is. Like, I could take that guy, I could take that guy. I got my knife here, I got my
right,
pistol on the other side just in case. Okay, emergency, just in case. Everything seems to be okay. We're in the parking lot, right?
right,
And then the wife is like, making my way downtown,
right.
right? So, and which is great, sometimes but that hypervigilance of like being in environments that were not always safe kind of makes you very aware of things.
Yes.
There's some other things, and even some studies that we talk about for those that grew up in environments that were not necessarily safe. They did have a higher sense of empathy. It's
Mm,
very interesting. There's some cool studies about that too. So
I
like
didn't know
this
that.
is actually a really cool case, but it's told in a story. But
Right.
some of those that really have they had hypervigilance, and they started to actually look at how they connected with other folks. They were able to really be great noticers of pain and challenge with others as they grew up because they knew what it felt from their own standpoint.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you. we have to share that in the notes or something.
All right,
Like,
we'll do.
yeah, let's get the bibliography going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got. But if you want to go a little deeper,
Right.
definitely you want to continue to follow us. Go ahead. We're going to go through every single chapter here of
Yep.
this particular book. Try not to get too much of the story, but we definitely want you to read with us as we go through Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. Goolsby, any final words? What do you the thoughts as we go through as we go into chapter 3 and 4 and so on?
Well, just catch what she's doing if you can. I'm not gonna give it away yet. At least for me, at least the way I look at it, when she gives little nuggets at the beginning. Like
Yeah.
again, all that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is changing. And we'll have these moments of clarity. Like you have this in life. Like before you go to bed at night, just if you think about something and follow it through, follow the thread, you'll say some profound stuff to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I did a scene the other day on a particular TV show. It was very emotional. And so it wasn't a 2-cam shot. It wasn't a shot where it's over my shoulder, it's over their shoulder, and we're going back and forth. They were just shooting them. And it's an emotional scene for me, though, and that person. I probably shouldn't have done the scene or been the back of that person because I'm tearing up, but the camera's not on me. So when the camera's on me, I don't have no tears left. And I was like, I have to protect myself. And I have to be brave enough to tell the director that. Not in jest, but in truth. Because I was like, hey, I only got like one now. And so we did like 6 to 7 to 8 takes over my shoulder. But when it came to me, I only got 2 takes. So I was like, I'm number 70 on the call sheet. Not 1, not 2, not 3. So next time, protect yourself, sir. And that's something I could just, even in class, you protect yourself. Always guard yourself. Somebody make a mistake. Guess what? That's cool. I'm not giving you even when seafood coming, I'm still like, just in case, because I've been here. I've seen people get here. I was like, oh.
Just in case, man. He ain't having a good day.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because usually seafood.
You're not trying to be the dude.
I'm not fighting my seafood. I already know.
He's
just that way he do.
You're like, come on. And
right. I don't want to be. Yeah. Right.
It's like every week.
Get yanked. Get popped.
John's sitting right here. He ain't done every week. Yeah. You're my strongest people. I don't care. Every week. I'm not going to just keep on.
It's funny that you say that because that's Lauren. Lauren is the strongest pupil.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
that is wild because she is her father's daughter, and she has to. She has to be the one taking the hits.
Ooh, that's so good. Oh, we should talk about that. We'll talk about that on next episode. Yeah. Being able to take the hits because you're the one that you are the strongest person to be able to take the hits.
Yep, because you're the only one. Yeah, you're the only one capable. Yeah. All right.
Well, cool, man. Well, this is Trey D.
And Goolsby.
And this has been another episode of As a Man Read
a Book. I'm sorry, I'm standing on something. Buzz my ass.
We'll holler at y'all very, very soon. Continue to read. As he said, read a book. Talk to you soon.
Parable of the Sower.